Hey there, welcome back to the channel. Today we are diving deep into the single greatest, most watched, and absolutely most insane sporting event on planet Earth, the FIFA World Cup. When this tournament kicks off, the entire world literally stops for a whole month. To give you some perspective, the 2006 World Cup final alone racked up around 715 million viewers. That was literally 1/9 of the entire population of the globe at the time. Today, we're taking a trip down memory lane from the first amateur kicks in the 19th century to the upcoming massive 48-team era. So smash that like button, subscribe, and let's get into this epic story. How it all began. Soccer before the World Cup. Now, you might think soccer has always been this glamorous and highly organized sport, but that wasn't always the case. The first ever international soccer match in history was actually just a friendly played way back in 1872 between Scotland and England and Glasgow. And honestly, it ended in a 0-0 tie, not exactly a thriller. Slowly but surely, soccer gained popularity and made its way into the 1900 and 1904 Olympics. But back then, there were no medals. It was just a demonstration sport. When FIFA was founded in 1904, they tried to organize a big international tournament outside of the Olympics. But because they were totally new to the game, it completely flopped. Eventually, the 1908 Olympics in London made soccer an official competition, but only amateur players were allowed to play. The British, who considered themselves the inventors of the game, swept the gold medals in 2 consecutive Olympic Games. A quick and weird fun fact, a guy named Thomas Lipton, yes, the man behind the famous Lipton tea, came along in 1909 and organized a tournament in Turin, Italy. But instead of national teams, he invited club teams to represent their countries. The English Football Association boycotted the event and refused to send a professional team. So Lipton didn't back down. He went ahead and invited an amateur local team called West Auckland to represent England. And guess what? This amateur team went out there and won the whole thing. Many people actually call this the first unofficial World Cup. Ultimately, the 1924 and 1928 Olympics were managed by FIFA, and Uruguay won gold both times. That was the moment FIFA realized soccer had way too much potential to just remain an Olympic sideshow. The birth of the World Cup and the pre-war years. In 1928, the president of FIFA, a man named Jules Rimet, a name you've definitely heard before, rolled up his sleeves and convinced the football confederations that soccer needed its own independent World Cup. Since Uruguay had already won 2 Olympic golds and was celebrating its 100th anniversary of independence, FIFA handed them the hosting duties for the very first tournament in 1930. But there was a massive problem. Traveling to South America was an absolute nightmare for the Europeans. We're talking a long, exhausting boat ride across the Atlantic Ocean and insane travel costs. Just 2 months before kickoff, not a single European country had committed to going. Finally, Jules Rimet personally stepped in. He begged and pleaded until he convinced 4 teams, Belgium, France, Romania, and Yugoslavia, to hop on a ship. In the end, only 13 teams participated in the inaugural World Cup. The first ever goal in World Cup history was scored by a Frenchman named Lucien Laurent. In the final, Uruguay took down Argentina 4-2 in front of a roaring crowd of 93,000 people in Montevideo, keeping the very first trophy on home soil. But the 1930s were rough. The next couple of tournaments were riddled with boycotts. South American teams boycotted the European tournaments because of the travel distance, and then World War II broke out. The 1942 and 1946 World Cups were completely canceled, putting the beautiful game on pause for 12 long years. The post-war era and the miracle of Maracana. In 1950, soccer finally came back to life, this time hosted by Brazil. This tournament featured 2 massive plot twists. First, the British teams, like England, finally ended their long-standing feud with FIFA and entered the World Cup. And second, Uruguay returned after years of boycotting. The final game of this tournament remains one of the most dramatic moments in sports history, famously known as the Maracanazo. Brazil only needed a tie to win. Nearly 200,000 fans packed into the Maracana Stadium, ready to party. But Uruguay shocked the world, beating Brazil 2-1 and leaving the massive stadium in dead silence and tears. From 1934 all the way to 1978, the tournament was usually played with 16 teams, and the powerhouses of Europe and South America basically dominated everyone else. Before 1982, it was incredibly rare for Asian or African teams to make a deep run, with a few exceptions like North Korea's shocking run to the quarterfinals in 1966. The modern era, expanding to 32 and 48 teams. Soccer just kept getting bigger and bigger. In 1982, the tournament expanded to 24 teams, and by France 1998, it became a 32-team tournament. This was huge for countries in Africa, Asia, and North America, giving them a real shot on the world stage. And boy, did we see some epic underdog stories. We had Cameroon in 1990, South Korea finishing fourth in 2002, Ghana in 2010, and of course the mind-blowing historic run by Morocco and the 2022 Qatar World Cup, where they became the first ever African nation to reach the semifinals. But the evolution didn't stop there. FIFA leadership believed that the World Cup shouldn't just be an exclusive club for Europe and South America. They wanted the whole world to have a seat at the table. Because of that, FIFA officially approved a massive expansion. Starting from the 2026 World Cup, the tournament will feature 48 teams. That means more games, more drama, and a massive opportunity for teams that always dreamed of making it to the big stage. The wild story of the stolen trophies. Now, you can't talk about the World Cup without talking about the actual cup itself. Over the years, there have been two distinct trophies. One, the Jules Rimet Trophy, the old cup. This trophy, which was awarded until 1970, has a backstory that reads straight out of a Hollywood detective movie. Right before the 1966 World Cup in England, the trophy was stolen. Scotland Yard went into full panic mode, but guess who saved the day? A smart little dog named Pickles found the trophy wrapped in newspaper under a garden hedge. According to the rules back then, the first team to win the World Cup 3 times got to keep the trophy forever. Brazil achieved this in 1970 with Pelé and took the cup home to Rio de Janeiro. But this trophy was seemingly cursed. In 1983, it was stolen again in Brazil, and this time the thieves reportedly melted it down and sold it. FIFA ended up having to make a replica for Brazil. The current trophy, the FIFA World Cup trophy. Starting in 1974, a brand new trophy was designed by an Italian sculptor named Silvio Gazzaniga. This beautiful cup is made of solid 18-karat gold and weighs about 13.6 pounds. A strict rule you should know: this new trophy can never be kept permanently by any country. The winning team only gets to hold the actual solid gold trophy on the night of the final. Right after the celebration, FIFA takes it back to their vault in Switzerland and hands them a gold-plated replica instead. The Hall of Fame, the kings of soccer. Out of the 22 World Cups played so far, 80 different nations have tasted the tournament, but only 8 legendary countries have ever lifted that sacred trophy. Let's break down the ultimate leaderboard. Number 1, Brazil, 5 times, 1958, 1962, 1970, 1994, and 2002. Number 2, Germany, 4 times, 1954, 1974, 1990, and 2014. Number 3, Italy, 4 times, 1934, 1938, 1982, and 2006. Number 4, Argentina, 3 times, 1978, 1986, and 2022. Number 5, France, 2 times, 1998 and 2018. Number 6, Uruguay, 2 times, 1930 and 1950. Number 7, England, 1 time, 1966. And number 8, Spain, 1 time, 2010. Brazil is the most successful team in history and the only country to play in every single World Cup. Italy and Brazil are the only 2 teams to successfully defend their title back-to-back. Germany holds the record for the most final appearances, making it to the big game 8 times. And our reigning champions, Argentina, captured their third star under the legendary leadership of Lionel Messi. Wrapping up and looking ahead, the next World Cup is going to be an absolute blockbuster 48-team tournament, co-hosted by Canada, the United States, and Mexico. With this tournament, Mexico will make history as the first country ever to host the World Cup 3 different times. At the end of the day, soccer is way more than just a game. It's a story of tears, joy, politics, history, and a passion that unites the entire world. Thank you guys so much for hanging out and watching until the end. Who do you think is going to surprise everyone in the next World Cup? Will Brazil secure their 6th star, or will Europe take the crown back? Drop your predictions in the comments below. Hit that like button and share this video with your soccer-obsessed friends. See you in the next video. Peace out.